Hi, this is Nick on the 1st of August. Welcome to a new month. Hope you're doing well. This week's theme is about being paid for our work, and one of the, challenges I've personally experienced, and I think a lot of people do, is really having a clear sense of the value of our work, whatever our work is, whether it's artistic, creative, leadership, practical, whatever our work is. I think a lot of us don't really clearly understand the value that other people find in our work, and maybe we just can't see that ourselves. So a couple of things then. If we don't know what the value is, we might find it hard to kind of promote ourselves because we think, well, I don't even know if this is valuable to people. So that can feed our resistance to kind of putting ourselves out into the world if we don't know what the value of our work is. And secondly, we don't know how to communicate necessarily clearly. So even if we, once we know what people say they find valuable about our work, then we can communicate that value more clearly. So people go, okay, I get it. So, I just want to share a very simple idea with you today, but one that has been life-changing for me. Obviously, because what I'm doing, and maybe you are too, depending on what you're doing, in a way I'm selling the invisible, I'm marketing the invisible. How do you market a conversation? How do you market the impact that your words are going to have on somebody, or the insights that you're going to share are going to have on somebody, or the education that you're going to offer? Because that's basically what I do. You may be an artist, you may create canvases, you may have some other craft, there could be 1,001 ways that you express yourself. And the question I've begun to really train myself to ask, and I've been doing it more and more, and I do it most times, sometimes I forget to do it, but whenever I have a conversation with people, whether it's a coaching conversation to introduce the possibility of working together, or whether it's actually working together, or even somebody says they like my book, or they liked a video, or whenever people are engaged with what I'm doing, I aim to ask, or I aim to remember to ask, and then listen to and capture the answer to the question. I'd love to hear what it is that you found valuable about this conversation, about reading my book, about watching that video, about being part of that training series that I ran. Because what I've realized is, I think I've told myself, well, I know what I do, I should really understand the impact of what I do. So it's been hard for me to say, I don't know a lot of the time. Some of the time I just don't really have a concept of the value that I'm bringing. So I found it really enlightening, I was going to say, and educational, and sometimes deeply moving to hear what it is that other people have found valuable about our work together. And what I've learned to do more and more is to be able then to describe my work in terms of what other people have said they find valuable about it. So then it doesn't become so much me talking about me. It becomes other people saying, this is what I found valuable. So it becomes one detached from us, and it also describes the value. Because obviously, ultimately, if people don't buy things, it's often either because they can't afford them, but generally it's because they can't see the value, or they don't understand the value, or it hasn't been properly communicated, the value. It doesn't mean what you're doing isn't valuable. You may just not have communicated that value clearly. So whatever you do, you could begin to be more curious and ask people, what is it you find value? Where's the value you find in what I do? What does it mean to you? That's another way of saying it. Because I think we then begin to see both ourselves more clearly, but probably more clearly the impact of the work that we do. And then we can see the value that people get from it, and then we can go, what I'm doing is I'm delivering this value, and this is the financial value potentially that I then place on the work that I do, because I know the value that it has to people. So I hope that's helpful. That's really it. Training myself to do this more and more, and then using what people tell me to convey that in my promotional material has been a bit of a turning point for me. Using other people's expression of the value they found to help people understand the value that they might get from the work that we could do together. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and please give me some feedback. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.